Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going over 30 more things that you didn't know about Lumber Tycoon 2. If you don't know already, the first video of this series was posted exactly a year ago, so go check that out before you watch this one. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right into it. Under this shelf in Bob Shack, you can find a hidden decal that says "Be in shape to be great" along with a picture of a banana. This decal is actually from a joke suggestion by Unicorn in which he turned Bob Shack into a banana shack, with the banana decal present on the top side of this shelf. The Way, a gift of immense friendship, was found in Bob Shack in old servers, however it was later replaced by the Y gift of stone in new servers. Not much is known about this gift or why it was replaced. However, its name shares similarity to the weighted gift, which was a bowling ball, meaning that perhaps this was an old version of the rock we see today. The gift of snow that contains the snowmobile has a price of $130,600. This price is not random as it correlates to the number of snowmobiles that were sold in 2022, intended to hint people about what's inside the gift. For a few weeks in October of 2022, a small prompt appeared titled "Plead with Judas." Clicking E on this prompt would do nothing, and you'd only get this on server initialization. This prompt is likely related to the Mary statue and the Void entity, as they are also unexplained things coming from October. In summer 2022, some plots were misplaced by accident, allowing blueprints to be placed off-grid. This was shortly patched, however any blueprints that were placed at the time still remain off-grid to this day. Over the years, the silver axe has changed position numerous times, originally started on the right side of this shelf and eventually moving to the left side. These changes always occurred when new gifts were added to the game, and it's a fun tradition to see a silver axe move around every now and then. The frost axe has had many design changes. On submission, it was just a blank axe head with this weird texture on it. However, later it was combined with Try's axe head mesh, giving it these icicles. Later after that, when the texture was a little bit broken, I touched it up and removed the snowflakes on it to make it look a little more clean. And that leads us to the frost axe we have today. A quality of life feature that's often overlooked is that the laser range was actually extended by about 2 times. This makes lasering vertically much more efficient. Sticking with quality of life features that are overlooked, we have Q/E item rotation. If you didn't know, when you hold an item, you can hold Q and E instead of WASD to move the item in a spin-like rotation. Not many people know about this since it's not listed on the rotation GUI, however it's very useful for placing things at specific angles without having to rotate around its origin. Up until last year, many blueprints had unnecessary parts, notably floors and tiles. These parts were there to give the blueprint a little more texture, however with ROBLOX constantly updating their textures, these parts became barely noticeable. So to reduce lag, Defaultio went ahead and removed all the extra parts. In 2022, many mysterious things happened to the light bulb. First, the light bulb's mesh got really thick, making the light bulb look much bigger. However, when Defaultio fixed this, he also updated the box's icon. This update made the icon look very weird as there was now a faint outline around the light bulb and it didn't really look like an actual light bulb anymore. In the summer of 2022, Defaultio accidentally published debug mode for plots to every server in the game. While this glitch did look very cool, it was shortly reverted after once Defaultio realized his mistake. The Golden Gift of Golden Times was a gift available at Fancy Furnishings during 2017. It sold for $122,000, however for the first few hours of it being on sale, its price was $622,000, making it the most expensive item in-game at the time. But even with the price reduction, this gift held the title of the most expensive gift all the way until 2022 when it was overthrown by the Gift of Snow. In pre-alpha, the stone and gold axes had their decals facing in opposite directions, however later save instances of the game show that the decals were facing the same direction. This change is quite weird and it's unknown whether this was intended or not. During beta testing, a black work light was seen on the shelf underneath Wood R Us. This mysterious light was likely an early test of some logical component, as the box was the same size as logic is today. However, it is still unknown whether this black work light ever existed or if it was just a placeholder. Defaultio created a game called The Battle Plate in 2008 on his other account called Yellow Pig 4. In 2015, he revived this game by making a second version that is currently unplayable. However, based on videos that he posted to his Twitter account, we can see that the lava in this game is very similar to the lava used in Lumber Tycoon 2. Additionally, there's a vehicle in this game that looks very reminiscent of the style seen in Lumber Tycoon 2. This ponders the question, was this the first vehicle in Lumber Tycoon 2, or was the design of Lumber Tycoon 2's vehicle simply based on the design of this one? The blue bag of candy contains many secrets, with 12 original candies all having something unique about them. Both me and fellow YouTuber Apton, who designed this bag, have videos depicting all of these secrets in depth. However, one of my favorites is in the Hoover's Tropics and Trees. If you go to the back of the bar and look closely, you'll see the faint word saying sub to Electrotech. And I mean, if the game's telling you to do it, you might as well do it now, so why don't you go down and hit that subscribe button. Please do it. The legendary pink bone turkey received the retexture in 2022, making the pink bone turkey actually have pink bones. Wow, thanks Jim Culis. The pin also received a nice touch-up in 2022, with a brand new mesh that makes it not fling to the upper stratosphere when stepping on it and makes it interact with bowling balls much better. For the Metaverse Champions event in 2021, Defaultio took Poe out of server storage and put it back into this rock. From there, he used the scripts and put them into the Metaverse Champions chest, as they acted the same way. If you didn't know, Poe was used during the Kung Fu Panda 3 event in Lumber Tycoon 2 back in 2015, where you had to find Poe hidden behind a rock. Lumber Tycoon 2 has many typos, but perhaps the biggest occurred in July of 2019, when Defaultio spelled D4s with 2 R's. This was promptly fixed. In September of 2021, wiki user T Flanagan claimed to have found a spook tree on September 30th. While the spook tree itself was real, its spawning was not natural, and was likely caused by an exploit that allowed exploiters to turn the server into the End Times event. On submission, the Slay model looked much different than the one we see today. This original model had a completely different color scheme and architecture type. And ultimately, the model we see today is much more polished and better for the game. Originally, Sinister Trees had a nice black neon texture. However, when Roblox made it so that black neon no longer glows, it made it so that Spook and Sinister Trees were almost unidentifiable from each other. Luckily, in 2020, Defaultio changed the bark of Sinister Trees to be this granite texture that we know and love today. During the Winter Games 2017 event, a hole in the ground appeared next to Wood R Us. Many people called this Defaultio's grave and didn't know what it was used for. However, it was later revealed that this was a scrap snow globe bin similar to the one in the Tega where people could dump their wood into in order to finish the event. Up until 2022, Spook Trees and Sinister Trees could only spawn materials called road, slate, or ground. However, in 2022, Defaultio adds sand to this list. This makes it so that Spook Trees can now spawn on the coast of the tropics and on this little island here. The green bag of candy has a sus Among Us reference on it. Hahaha. This famous Lumber Tycoon 2 render was actually made by jailbreak creator Asimo. I personally did not know this until recently, so it's quite cool to see how interconnected Jailbreak and Lumber Tycoon 2 really are. In pre-alpha testing, trucks did not have headlights, however this was changed once light sources like the work light were added to Wood R Us. From 2018 to 2022, there was a 0.05 stud gap in this wedge right here on the Tega peak. This is absolutely unacceptable, and finally, in 2022, it was fixed. That's right, this gap is no longer here and the game is finally playable. Thank you so much, Lord Defaultio. And that's all 30 more things you didn't know about Lumber Tycoon 2. Let me know in the comments if you knew any of these and if any of these things surprised you. If you would like to see a part 3 of this video, make sure to comment that down below too, and I'll do it next year. Anyways, that's gonna be it for me. Goodbye.